At my birthday, I walked into balloons, cake, candles, everything. But then I saw the banner. Congratulations, Amanda. It was my sister's graduation party. So I left quietly and did this. 2 weeks later, my sister would call in tears from the police station. I should have known better. But for one perfect, stupid moment, I let myself believe it. That the music, the streamers, the cake, it was all for me. That my family, who had forgotten my birthday 3 years in a row, once because Amanda had a migraine, had finally remembered I existed. I saw the lights, the guests, the decorations. People actually turned and clapped when I walked in. I almost laughed, like something out of a movie. For a full 3 seconds, I lived in a fantasy world where I was the favorite child. And then, congratulations, Amanda. Huge gold letters. A glittery banner stretched across the fireplace. My sister's name in cursive font. And just like that, I was slammed back into reality. Amanda strutted into the room like it was her wedding day. Tight white dress, cap and gown over one arm, phone already out for selfies. The applause doubled when she arrived. "Oh my God, you guys," she squealed. "I'm gonna cry. This is like everything." She didn't cry. She never cries unless there's a camera or cash involved. I stood off to the side, still holding the gift bag I'd brought for my dad to give me from them, because I knew they wouldn't have one. I was used to it. I wasn't used to this. I found my mom in the kitchen and asked, very calmly, if they had meant to do this on my birthday. She looked confused, then guilty, then annoyed. "Well," she said, "we thought we'd celebrate both. You don't like a lot of attention anyway, right?" Then my dad chimed in from the couch, like he was helping. "We ordered your favorite cake. See, we didn't forget." Right. A cake with Amanda's face on it. A graduation cap. And congratulations, Amanda written in gold frosting. Really screamed happy birthday, Oliver. Amanda finally looked over and saw me. "Oh hey," she said, air kissing my cheek. "You didn't tell me you were coming." "That's chill though, we can share the party. Unless that makes you feel weird." She said it like I was a guest who wandered in off the street. Then she added, "Hope you don't mind, we kinda used your credit card for the cake. It was just easier." That's when my smile cracked. I pulled out my phone and checked my banking app, just in case. And there it was. A $900 catering charge. A $500 venue deposit from 3 days ago. A $200 floral order with the note. For Amanda's big day. I felt heat crawl up my neck. Not rage. Not yet. Just shame. The kind of shame that sits in your throat and chokes you slowly. I didn't say anything. Didn't make a scene. I just turned around and walked out. I think someone asked where I was going. Amanda might have said, "You're seriously leaving? Ugh, are you going to be dramatic about it?" I didn't answer. Because I wasn't being dramatic. I was done. They thought I'd sulk and get over it. What I actually did was file a police report. And 2 weeks later, Amanda would be calling me, sobbing, from the police station. The first time I realized my sister Amanda could get away with murder, she was 6 and I was 8. She'd stolen a 20 from Mom's purse. When I found it in her Barbie dream house and told our parents, Amanda burst into tears, pointed at me, and said, "He made me do it." I was grounded for 2 weeks. Amanda got ice cream because she was clearly distressed. That was the beginning. Or at least, the first time I remember realizing the scoreboard wasn't exactly balanced in our house. Back then, I thought maybe it would even out when we were older. That maybe eventually, people would see through her act. They didn't. Because Amanda didn't grow out of that phase, she perfected it. And my parents, they clapped every step of the way. Growing up, she had an audience. Her entire personality was a stage performance. Perfect smile, perfect hair, perfect tearful apologies followed by 0 consequences. If I got a B+ on a test, my parents would say, "Next time, aim higher." If Amanda got a C-, it was, "She's doing her best. She's under a lot of pressure." She once borrowed my laptop for a school project and returned it with a cracked screen and 5 missing keys. When I told her she had to pay for the repair, she rolled her eyes and said, "I'm literally a student. You make money. Don't be selfish." She said it like I was being unreasonable for not wanting to sponsor her tech destruction. But Amanda didn't ask. Amanda took. And my parents called it love. When Amanda said she wanted to do a semester abroad in Italy, my parents raided the emergency fund. When I needed help covering a car repair to get to work after a layoff, I was told to budget better. I paid for my own college. Every cent took on 2 jobs and 8 more ramen noodles than I care to remember. Amanda, meanwhile, got a fully funded degree, no student loans, and a monthly allowance so she could focus on school. I wasn't bitter. Not at first. I was exhausted. But I told myself, you're the older brother. You're supposed to sacrifice. Then came the medical lie. A year ago, Amanda called me late one night, sniffling, voice shaking, full Oscar-worthy performance. Said she needed $1,800 for a specialist. Told me not to tell mom and dad, that she was scared, and that it was probably nothing, but it could be serious. I wired the money within the hour. 2 weeks later, she posted a series of photos from a healing retreat in Tulum. Yoga by the beach. Crystal therapy. A $600 a night villa. When I confronted her, she blinked at me like I was being unreasonable. I was having an emotional crisis, she said. You don't understand how draining school has been. My parents' reaction? Let it go, Oliver. Amanda's always been sensitive. I didn't report her. I didn't even yell. I just started putting distance between us. Quietly. Strategically. I changed passwords, removed my cards from shared delivery apps, made sure she couldn't access anything she hadn't earned. But apparently, she'd been planning something anyway. I found out later that mom had used my old credit card, one I'd forgotten to cancel, because it was still linked to the account from last year's Thanksgiving groceries. Apparently, using my money for Amanda's party wasn't stealing, it was convenient. I should have expected it. But it still hit me in the gut. Hard. After I left the party, I sat in my car in silence for a long time. Not crying. Just staring. Processing. It wasn't even about the money, though that was a blow. It was the realization that no matter how old we got, nothing had changed. I was still the backup plan. The afterthought. The wallet with legs. You know what my mom texted me that night? You embarrassed Amanda by walking out. You made everything about you again. I didn't respond. I opened my Photos app and scrolled back through Amanda's graduation posts. There she was, laughing by the cake I paid for, holding up a custom sign that said Class of 2025. She did it. There was no mention of me. No birthday message. No tag. Nothing. The next day, she posted a photo of her gifts and wrote, "So grateful for my amazing family." Guess who wasn't in any of the pictures? I think that's when the emotion shifted. I wasn't just hurt anymore. I was furious. Quietly furious. The kind that doesn't burn hot, but cold. Focused. I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to post about it. I was going to do something they never expected. Tell someone who could actually do something. I spent the next few days gathering receipts. Literally. My credit card statements showed every charge for the party, the cake, the catering, the decorations. A flower order with the message, "For Amanda's big day." Charged to me. The venue confirmation had Amanda's email and phone number listed. The invoice went to her inbox. The name on the rental contract? Amanda, on behalf of family. The card used? Mine. I even had old texts from months ago where Amanda had asked me, "You're not going to make a big deal about your birthday, right? It's close to my graduation, and I kind of want the spotlight, lol." At the time, I ignored it. But now, it was gold. Evidence. Proof that this wasn't a misunderstanding. This was intentional. They used me. Again. I didn't tell anyone I was filing a report. Not my parents. Not Amanda. Just walked into the police station with a folder and the quiet determination of someone who has finally had enough. The officer who took my statement looked genuinely uncomfortable when I explained who it was. I told him it was fine. I wasn't looking to ruin my sister's life. I just wanted to stop her from ruining mine. I signed the paperwork. I answered the questions. I walked out. 2 days later, Amanda texted me. "Hey, can you Venmo me for the Uber from the party? It was technically your night too." I didn't answer. 2 weeks later, she would be sitting in a police station, sobbing into her phone. And for once, I wouldn't be the one she could count on to clean up the mess. She called me at 6:13 in the morning. Not texted. Not left a voicemail. Called. Full on, old school ringtone ringing through my half-asleep brain. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. And again. The 4th time I answered, not because I wanted to, but because I thought maybe someone had died. Honestly, that would have been easier. "Oliver," Amanda gasped, her voice cracking. "Oh my God. I'm at the police station. They said there's a report. A fraud report. With your name on it. What did you do?" I sat up in bed, turned on the light, and blinked into the phone like it could give me strength. "Oh, so that's the part you're shocked about? Not the part where you stole from me." Silence. "I didn't steal," she said, instantly on the defense. "It was a party. For both of us. Mom said it was fine." "You're seriously doing this? To your own sister?" There it was, the classic Amanda defense strategy. Cry first, then play the family loyalty card. And if that doesn't work, spin it into a martyr monologue. "Are you being questioned?" I asked calmly. Yes. They said they need me to verify the purchases, and the card wasn't mine, and now I might get charged with fraud. "Oliver, you're ruining my life over a birthday party." "No," I said. "You're ruining your own life over years of treating me like a walking ATM." Later, I found out what really happened. Turns out Amanda had taken a photo of my credit card months ago when I left my wallet on the counter during a family visit. She used the card manually, typed in the number, expiration date, and security code to pay for the venue deposit, the cake, the decorations. When the officer asked how she got the card details, she said, "I thought he wouldn't mind. It was for both of us." She admitted she never asked, never told me, never even hinted. The officer asked, "Did he give you permission?" Amanda just blinked and said, "Well, he didn't say no." That's the level of logic we were working with. By that afternoon, my phone was blowing up like a fire alarm. Texts from my mom, my dad, even my aunt, who I hadn't spoken to in 3 years. "Mom, you went too far." Amanda is devastated. "Dad, you really want to throw your own sister in jail over a misunderstanding?" Aunt Karen, "Whatever happened to talking things through like adults? Not everything has to be a lawsuit." I didn't respond to any of them. Not because I didn't care, but because I finally cared about myself more. That night, Amanda came to my apartment. I didn't know she knew where I lived. I still don't know how she got in the building. Probably manipulated a neighbor, or threatened a delivery guy, or cried at the buzzer. All her go-to tactics. I opened the door just enough to see her face. Red, tear-streaked, and blotchy, but not in a sorry way. In an "I'm still the victim" way. "I'm not here to fight," she said. I need you to drop the report. Please." They said this could go on my record. It could affect jobs, travel, everything. I looked at her. Not just looked, really saw her. And what I saw wasn't a scared sister. It was a girl who had never been told no and still didn't know what it meant. "You lied about needing money for medical treatment," I said. "You stole my credit card. You threw yourself a party on my birthday and acted like I was the inconvenience. And now you want me to fix it." "I didn't know it would go this far," she whispered. "That's the problem," I said. "It never goes far for you. Because people like me always let it slide." Cue the tears. Round 2. Maybe 3. I'd lost count. But they came anyway. "You're doing this to punish me," she said. "You've always been jealous." That one actually made me laugh. Genuinely. "Jealous? Of Amanda?" "Yeah," I said. "You're right. I've always dreamed of being the sibling who manipulates her way through life and ruins other people's credit scores." Her eyes narrowed. The crying stopped like someone flipped a switch. "You think you're so perfect," she snapped. "But you're just bitter. You're pathetic. You think being right makes you better than everyone else." "No," I said, "but it does mean I'm not paying for a crime I didn't commit." I closed the door on her mid-rant. Didn't slam it. Didn't yell. Just closed it. Because I was done being the audience to Amanda's one-woman drama. Over the next week, things escalated. My parents started calling daily. Not to apologize. Not to ask how I was. But to demand that I make things right. Apparently, Amanda's job offer at a marketing firm had been put on hold due to the investigation. One of the background checks flagged the police report. And instead of facing the consequences, Amanda had gone full meltdown. "Are you happy now?" My mom yelled over the phone. "She's devastated. Her future is ruined." "I was never trying to ruin her future," I said. "I was trying to protect mine." They didn't hear me. They never do. A few days later, my dad left me a voicemail. His tone was calm, quiet, almost gentle. "Son, we know you've felt underappreciated. And I get it. I really do. But this isn't the way. This is family. And family means sometimes we do things we don't like. That's just how it is." I played the message twice. Once to hear what he said. Once to hear what he didn't say. He never once acknowledged Amanda's actions. Never once apologized. Just gently urged me to let it go. To bend again. To keep the peace. And for the first time in my life, I understood something. Keeping the peace was just code for keep being quiet while they take advantage of you. A week after that, I got a message from Amanda. No emojis. No passive-aggressive LOLs. Just a simple line. You win. I hope you're proud of yourself. And the truth is, I wasn't proud. I wasn't gloating. I wasn't even happy. I was just done. Done carrying guilt that wasn't mine. Done paying for mistakes I didn't make. Done playing the role of the silent, dependable brother while they applauded Amanda for breathing. They had pushed me out of every celebration, every spotlight, every space where I should have mattered, and now they were shocked I'd finally stepped into my own. By the time Amanda sent me that final text, you win. I hope you're proud of yourself. I thought we'd reached the climax. I thought the drama had peaked, that the worst was over, that maybe finally they'd leave me alone. I was wrong, because apparently the one thing more dangerous than Amanda crying is Amanda cornered. And a cornered Amanda comes with backup. 3 days after that text, my mom showed up at my office. She didn't even call ahead. Just walked right into the lobby like she owned the place and asked to speak with me urgently. When I came down, she looked me up and down like I'd personally betrayed the family bloodline. I raised you better than this, she said. No hello. No how are you. Just straight to the guilt. I motioned for us to step outside. She followed, her heels clacking like judgment across the pavement. You've humiliated your sister, she snapped. She might not get the job now. Do you understand what this means? Her whole career could be ruined. I said, yeah, that's usually what happens when you commit fraud. Her face reddened. Not from shame. From fury. You're doing this out of spite. Over one party. We raised you, Oliver. We paid for your school clothes. Your sports. Your food. Right, I said. And in return, I gave you a down payment on your house and covered your utilities for 2 years. But sure, let's talk about that one time in 5th grade you bought me sneakers. She actually had the nerve to say, that was your choice. We never asked you to help. No, they never asked. They just expected. Expected me to pick up the slack when Amanda blew through her allowance. Expected me to cover the gap when Dad forgot the power bill. Expected me to be grateful for scraps while Amanda was handed everything on a silver platter, including my birthday. I'm not dropping the report, I said. And if Amanda has any sense left, she'll take the deal the officer offered her and move on. My mom glared at me. You're not just punishing Amanda. You're punishing this family. I shrugged. Then maybe this family should have stopped treating me like a stranger with a checkbook. And I walked back inside, leaving her standing there, fuming, arms folded, in the same heels she'd probably worn to Amanda's party. The next escalation came 2 days later. Social media. Amanda posted a long-winded, vague reflection about family betrayal and how some people will stab you in the back just to feel taller. She didn't mention my name, but she tagged our entire extended family. Every cousin, every aunt, even grandma. The comments were a mix of concern and confusion. Who would do that to you? You're so strong, Amanda. Rise above. Family is supposed to protect you, not attack you. I didn't reply, but I did screenshot it. Every line. The next day, I woke up to 5 missed calls from relatives I hadn't spoken to since childhood, and 1 DM from our cousin Lila, who did know the full story, and simply wrote, "They're drowning. Don't throw them a life raft." Amanda wasn't done. She emailed my boss. Let that sink in. She emailed my boss, pretending to be a concerned friend of the family, and claimed I was going through a personal crisis and might be lashing out at loved ones inappropriately. Luckily, my boss is the type of person who drinks black coffee, runs marathons, and doesn't tolerate nonsense. She forwarded the email to me with one line. Let me know if I need to block anyone. I replied, might want to block Amanda. She's going through a full-time identity crisis. We laughed about it, but deep down I was shaken. Amanda wasn't just panicking, she was spiraling, and she dragged down whoever she could to keep herself afloat. The police case moved faster than I expected. Maybe because the evidence was so clean. Maybe because Amanda's digital fingerprints were all over everything. Maybe because the officer handling the report was the kind of guy who didn't like being lied to. They offered Amanda a deal. Repay the full amount. Complete 100 hours of community service. Enroll in a financial accountability workshop. In return, no charges filed, no permanent record. All she had to do was admit fault. Own up to it. Learn something. She refused. Said it was humiliating. Said it would make her look guilty. The officer's reply, "You are guilty." Eventually, her pride cracked. Not because she suddenly developed self-awareness, but because the marketing firm that had been considering her application found out about the report. The offer was rescinded. No job, no launch pad, no dream career. Just Amanda, sitting in her room in her parents' house, throwing tantrums between phone calls to lawyers she couldn't afford. Guess who didn't bail her out this time? My parents made one final attempt to reel me back in. A group call. The tone was soft, calculated, like a PR campaign. "We just want to talk," my mom said sweetly. As a family, Amanda was on the call too, silent for a moment. Then, "I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to hurt you." It was the flattest apology I've ever heard. Like a child being forced to say sorry after shoving someone on the playground. "What exactly are you sorry for?" I asked. Another pause. "For taking your card without asking?" "That's not what happened," I said. "You stole from me." The silence on the other end was thick. "You've made your point," my dad said finally, voice cold. "So what now? You gonna disown us? Is that what this is?" "No," I said. "I'm just done pretending any of this is normal." And then I hung up. No yelling. No drama. Just quiet, final clarity. 3 months later, Amanda had completed the workshop and was working part-time at a pet supply store. Our parents still hadn't spoken to me directly, but I'd moved out of state, gotten a promotion, a fresh apartment, a small group of friends who knew me as me, not Amanda's brother. One evening, I got a message. "Amanda again. Saw you moved. Hope things are good. I could really use someone to talk to." I stared at it for a while. Then I turned off my phone, made a cup of tea, and sat on my balcony watching the city lights flicker like tiny, silent fireworks. For once, my life wasn't about cleaning up her mess. And in that silence, I finally felt free. I still get mixed feelings about it sometimes. Not guilt, exactly, just that little voice in your head that says, "What if you just let it go one more time?" But then I remember the years of silence, the stolen money, the birthdays that weren't mine, and I know I did the right thing. Still, what do you think? Was I too harsh? Or was it finally time someone held her accountable? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious how people see it. And if you like the story, or just enjoy watching family drama unfold that isn't yours, hit that subscribe button.